Okay, we're going to take a look at my classes here so we can see how do you view students' work and grade it. All right. Reason I have so many, and some of them aren't even mine, is myself and Miss Sosa teach 6th grade science at Breezy, and so I created her classes for her and gave her access to them, and but I still have them all here in my stream. Anyway, here's your Google Classroom training class, and let's look at my Science Academy, which is the academy that we do the first week after school's out. This is a good one. So to go into the class, you click on it, and then I can see the stream here, kind of like the students do. And they only had 2 assignments because this is summer camp, not school. They had to create a presentation about some of the things they had done, and they added pictures that they took. And it says there's not done here because I didn't make them click the submit button when they were finished. You don't have to, but if you want to, so you know they're done, that's fine. So let's say, okay, I want to look at these presentations. How did they do? So I click on the assignment, and then it pops up here, and their names are over here. You can put a grade over here, and it has them sorting it by status. That means done or not done, but you can also sort it by first name or last name. Well, let's sort it by last name. All right, so, and then here it says it's late if they're not done. You had already submitted a due date, but again, you don't have to do that. All right, I don't know if any of them click submit. No, I don't. It doesn't look like they did. All right, so let's take a look at one of them. Let's say I want to grade Phillips. So click on his, and it will open it up in Google Drive. Okay, so now I can take a look at his presentation, and I could make comments on here as the teacher. I mean, right now I can make any kind of edit that I want to. All right. Or I could just add a comment. I could do all kind of things. All right. So what I see that Philip did here is the minimum. He only created 1 slide for each day that we were at the academy. So, all right. If I wanted to, I could make comments like I said, or okay, I say I'm done. I know what I want to grade, what grade I want to give this. So you can just close it and go back to your academy, your classroom, and then so Philip over here, he did the minimum. Let's give him a 70. 70 out of 100. All right, and then that's it for that, and it says not returned here because you can return it back to them. And the way you return it back to them is you select them over here, and you go back up here and click return. You could actually email them if they had email accounts, but they don't. But you can click return, and then when they go back, log into it again, they'll see that it's returned. All right. Let's take a look at another one. Let's look at Anna's. Okay. I see that these students, wow, they've got day 1 that describes what they did, and they've got a day 1 slide with pictures. They've got a day 2 slide with what they did, a day 2 slide with pictures. Okay, now these girls followed my directions. All right. They really went above and beyond here because they described all the things they did and they added pictures. So this is good. All right, so these girls, this is obviously 100. So I'll go back, and that was Anna Buskal. So let's go up here, and we'll give her 100. And that's it. All right, so all the ones that you're finished grading, you can click them, and you can click return. And it says you want to return unsubmitted ones. Yes, I do, because they didn't hit submit. That's fine. All right, and then you could add a comment to them here. And that's it for grading it. All right, so let's say you got all your grades done. Let's just give everybody a 95. Alright, see how we do this. We already gave Philip a 70. Alright, so that's all of them. Okay, now you got your grades done. What do you do next? Go up here to this little gear. This is the settings, and you've got some options. You could copy all the grade to a Google Sheet, or you could download them as a CSV and import them into Excel or even your gradebook. But we're going to copy them to Google Sheets because that's what I do. Alright, so it opens up a new Google spreadsheet with your grades. There you go. It even automatically does a class average for you. How about that? And if you notice, it has all your assignments. So we also had the thank you letter that they had to write. We didn't grade any of those yet, but once you do grade them, it pops them out here, and then it gives them an average. Okay? What can you do with this? Well, you could just use this as your grade book if this is all you're doing, or you can export these grades with the student ID number, which you could add in here, and then you could import those into Teams and get your grades done without entering them twice. Okay, that's a little complicated, but it is possible. I've done it before. You know, it may just be just as easy just to go re-enter them after you print this out, but this is what it does for you. Alright, so let's go back and take a look at a couple of other features that you can do as a teacher. So I'm going to click this little back arrow to go back to my stream, and on your stream here, let's click on the Students tab. Okay, if you click on the Students tab, it shows you all the students that are in your class. Alright, and you can select all, or you can select several of them. If you click on Invite, it will let you type in email addresses to invite students by email. Now, our students do not actually have Gmail, even though they have the Google account, so this really doesn't do you any good. Alright, if you had the students' email addresses like you collected at the beginning of the year so you know how to contact them, you could put those in here to invite them to the class. I would just give them the class code when you're in the computer lab or when they've got the computers, and let them, you know, enter the code themselves. Alright. Something else that's for middle school students very important. See right here where it says students can post and comment? They do not know how to appropriately do this. I change this to only teacher can post or comment. Okay, what do you mean by post? Well, a student could actually go in there and post something. Not necessarily an assignment, but, well, they could like add a file or something to the stream, which would be great for collaborating maybe with, you know, upperclassmen in high school, because that's kind of like, you know, you do with online college courses, but definitely not for lower classes or middle school. So I always change that to only the teacher can post and comment, because before you know it, they will find that they can comment and they'll do it. Okay. This is the class code. If you get a new student or a student that was absent and they didn't get added to the class, give them the class code. You can always reset the class code or disable it so nobody else can join. Alright, and then in the About section, you can add a title for the class, describe it, put the room number, and then it shows you where the folder is, and you can actually put the assignments in your calendar so you know when they're done, or if you have a class calendar. Here's another important feature. Here's where you can invite a teacher. Like, you know, those other ones that I showed you that I had created of mine. This is what I did. I created classes for Miss Sosa, and then I go in here and invite teacher. And when you click invite teacher, you put in their email address and it'll invite them to join it, and you can then give them full privileges. And you can change your theme or upload your photo. And this, when you click on these three little lines over here, you can click on all your classes, you can look at the calendar, you can look at the work you've assigned, or you can just select the class you want to go to. You can see archived classes, which some of these I need to archive because they're old. And then if you go to settings, oh, this just goes to your Google account settings, which you really can't do much for in the school's Google. Or you can just go back to your classes.